This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. South Florida's premier law enforcement agency is now hiring individuals like you. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is now accepting applications for non-certified and certified police officer positions. Minimum requirements and qualifications can be found at FLPDjobs.com. That's FLPDjobs.com. Are you ready? The city of Fort Lauderdale is an equal opportunity employer.
What? Oh, look.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Ready to go, ready to rock. It's a beautiful thing. Hope you all are feeling well. I'm feeling good. I was at Dolphins camp today. It's good. It's always a good day. You know, I was going up the stairs and some guy said, I can start my day now. Big O is here. And I said, we can all start our day because the good Lord allowed us to open our eyes and enjoy another day. And every day above ground is a good day, ladies and gentlemen. And so, yes, it's a great day. And by the way, I got to thank a lot of the fans that we met out there today. A lot of you came over to say hi and ran into you all when I was going up and down the stairs and walking around the facility, and love it. Met a whole bunch of you. And so thank you all out there. Never, one person says, well, you came by the last time I didn't want to bother you. I'm like, it's never a bother. Never a bother. Always love meeting the great people that support our show. And so thank you. Thank you to all out there when we're out at Dolphins camp, and all the love that we get over at Dolphins camp. It is freaking awesome. So appreciate all of you out there immensely. Yeah, it was actually it wasn't really that hot today, and a nice little breeze coming in. So it was actually good today at Dolphins camp. It wasn't too bad. I didn't break out these tons of sweat where I got here and, oh my God, I got a shower right away. I didn't even have to jump in the shower right away. It was actually calm, cool, and pretty collective, which is very nice. Let's see. Nice. I just saw this come across on Twitter. Nice. Jake Kiska from Greta Van Fleet. How about that? Maybe that's why I was wearing my Greta Van Fleet shirt today. It says he was chosen as one of the top 50 new guitarists of the year. All right. From Guitar World. Good for him. Does an excellent job, that young man. Excellent, excellent. Good Saturday. Bitcoin right in between that 24,000 area. It's at 23,350 right now. So market's doing well. Had a good day of practice today. Had some stuff that went on. And overall, I thought decent performance. Skylar Thompson thought had a really nice throw. And I've told you guys about this already. I like Skylar Thompson. I love the what's that called? The reclamation project, the project period, the rawness of Skylar Thompson, and he's got a lot of ability, man. He's got a big arm, he's got athleticism. The good Lord blessed him with anything and everything you need to succeed in the NFL. Now the question is, can he mentally put it all together? Can he fine tune his physical ability? He had a throw today where he was rolling out to his left, I believe, and threw across his body, and it was a really nice throw, man. That was probably his best throw of camp so far. He threw an interception today and everything, but still, there hasn't been a lot of interceptions in camp. And listen, he's super raw. There are moments he'll overthrow a guy and go wide on a throw or something like that. He needs to fine tune, and I don't know if you can. Josh Allen kind of did it, you know what I mean? Which is something new to me because I had never seen that. Usually, when you're inaccurate, you stay inaccurate. It just doesn't change. It's just one of those things. You either have it or you don't. And he's got to fine tune it. But man, there's a lot of ability there. Listen, from what I'm told inside the building, he was drafted with the hopes that he can develop into a backup quarterback, that's his ceiling. You know what I mean? That's kind of what they're looking at. So if they're able to develop it in the next year, when they lose Teddy the following year or two, if they are able to stash him for 2 straight years in the practice squad, maybe that's what it'll take, a year or two, if he can cross that threshold. If not, he's out of football. But there's no doubt, talent-wise, that kid doesn't lack anything there. So Skylar Thompson, interesting player. Good day today overall. Karen says, man, per Poupart's article, Tua had his worst day of training camp. I feel like he says that in every article. Tua he had a really awesome throw today. Rolling to his left, I think it was. And he threw a really, really nice pass. He threw a couple of really nice passes. But today, yeah, he missed on a few today, Karen. He didn't. I mean, it wasn't like, oh my God, he was terrible. But yeah, he wasn't today and yesterday. He wasn't, no, but it wasn't like, oh my God, he's horrible. You're not going to look great every single day. You are playing against some pretty good players, and when Skylar gets in there are more backups in there. You know what I mean? So I think it's one of those things that you kind of, he had a deep ball today that I think should have been caught. Skylar, by the way, not Skylar, what's it called? Damn it, what's this kid's name? The other wide receiver, Braylon Sanders, had a deep ball today. He had to catch, you know what I mean? But he's a young guy. He's probably a practice squad player at best at this point. But yeah, no, Tua wasn't like, oh my God, he was amazing today or anything like that. No, not at all, man. Not at all. But overall, he's had a good camp from what I've seen. I have no problem with what I've seen from Tua. Sean Seipler. I'm sorry. Sean Seipler. Thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Says, Big O, great to meet you today. Always spot on. Thanks for taking the extra pick with my son. Okay, now I know exactly because your son was in the back on that pick, and so I kind of felt bad. And I said, man, let's retake a pick with the son, and so we took a pick with the son. So now I got you. I know exactly who you are, and I appreciate you. Thank you, Sean, for the love on the super chat. Did I take it off now? Okay, there we go. Anyway, because I got no Sean today. So since I have no Sean today, it's one of those anything can happen, and it's probably all bad with me running the show here at the same time while I've got to do the show. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, if you want to get in on the Welt and Realm text line, you can get in at 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Realm text line. Anthony says, Big O, looking smooth. What shirt is that? Also, did you see any new gear in the store? I did not go to the store to buy. I didn't go to the store at all, man. So I don't know anything about any gear in the store. My shirt is a Greta Van Fleet shirt. That's what I was wearing at camp today. See? There you go. It's a badass shirt. Nice and comfortable. Breathes really well, which was really good. But it was fun today. I had a good I mean, listen, man. You get to go out to Dolphins camp and hang out and watch I had a blast at Vegas. There was a reporter that said to me, "Why are you here?" I always love those guys that really don't appreciate what they do for a living. It's like, really, dude? You cover sports for a living. And you're in Vegas. You're gonna be complaining about being in Vegas and covering sports. And I enjoyed the hell out of watching the summer league games and watching the players and watching young players to see which ones are going to develop. And then it was a great atmosphere. And let me tell you, if you're a fan, wow, the Vegas Summer League is amazing for you fans out there because you're going to see, retired players, current players, young players. You're going to be able to take pictures and get autographs of all those people and executives and things like that because they're just walking around. It's super casual. You'll run right into them. It's really awesome. And so for me, this is a lot of fun. And when I get to go out to Dolphins camp, I find it to be fun. And you'll run into the girl or the guy. It's rarely ever women. It's usually men. But men usually are like, there's a couple always that just don't appreciate what they do, which I find that to be just insulting, really, at times. There's a lot of people I would love to switch places with you. You know what I'm saying? Cap for Life says, I'm hearing mixed reviews about Skyler. It says, if no one wants him to succeed, I personally like him out of all three quarterbacks that made the 50-yard basket throws. He had the most velocity. That's about touch. That's not about velocity, my brother. And what's it called? He only made it once out of the 4 or 5 times they threw it. Teddy and Tua, I believe Tua made it either 2 or 3 times, and Teddy definitely made it twice, maybe 3 times also. Not sure. But yeah, it's about touch overall. Let's see. What else do we have to say? How was the snapping was bad again. It's unacceptable. I'm telling you, they will go through next week, I believe. And if it doesn't get any better after the Tampa week, I think they're going to go center hunting. That's my feel to all of this. That they'll go center hunting after. Hopefully they don't have to. Hopefully this week Connor gets it down packed, but it doesn't matter. Adam Pankey, whoever it is, nobody's clean at snapping. And today it wasn't Connor, but we had the one that goes over the head, and but there were a whole bunch of high snaps, and there was a couple low snaps too. The snapping is not good. It's a concern. It's definitely a concern. Next week, it steps up to a panic. We will watch that because that is something that everything else is kind of in place. You need to fix the snapping shit, So it was not good today at all. I'm excited as anyone about the season, but the line has me worried. Well, I mean, that's kind of what everybody, That's what they have to fix. And you can't expect it. What is this, the 11th practice? It's not going to, you're not going to have a clean product at this point. It's the summer league, the same time you saw Morrissey. Yes, I did 3 times. 3 times in 10 days. Actually, not really. In 5 days, I saw him 3 times because I saw him on Wednesday and then I saw him Friday and Saturday. And I arrived on Tuesday. So really, the first couple of days, then I saw Morrissey, and then the rest was all kind of because really, the summer league started on Friday. So it was one of those deals where it was like kind of at the end right there. Let's see. True that X had Cheetah on in the last couple of days. He's had Waddle or Cheetah. He's right there with them. That's an elite corner, bro. The good thing with X right now is we're not dealing with any more contract bull crap. And finally, when they resolved it last offseason, at the end of last year, that was awesome. And you got rid of that, crappiness every year. And then we had the other issues, and those issues haven't reared the knee issues haven't been a problem, and obviously any of the domestic issues. So the beauty for the X situation now, because you know me, I was not a fan of one thing after another. I was tired of it. I had no problem if you had to move on from him. But now you settled your contract issue. Now we don't need to hear about money every damn year. Now he can play football. They don't have to worry about it, and they can have their great corner, and everything is settled in. And so that's the good thing with the whole X situation, that there's no more of it's not the player. It's not like the play on the field. It was all the other crap that was going on. That's not in the mix now. So now he gets to just play, and he's amazing. When he's on, you all know it. He can be one hell of a player. Sean Seipler, again, holy crap. He says, have you heard what's coming out of Patriots camp? Their beat writers are calling it horrible, trying to install outside zone, and Patricia calling plays. Could week 1 be a gift? Well, they beat him twice last year, Sean. Remember that. They beat him twice last year. Belichick has got this whole thing. Now Patricia's calling plays, and that's a problem. I don't care what anybody tells you. Has Matt Patricia been calling plays his entire career? Like he's constantly calling it against that defensive coordinator or that defensive coordinator? No, he's used to facing that offensive coordinator and that offensive coordinator. So all of a sudden now he's got to change his habits and think like an offensive coordinator. And so is Belichick. No, dude, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. I'm not as concerned about the Patriots as others are. I have zero concerns about the Jets and very little concerns about the Patriots. The only concerns that Dolphin fans should have really is the Bills. They're better than the Patriots, and they're better than the Jets. Yeah, I said it. They're better than the Patriots. Yeah, I said it. And they'll prove that. But we got to get to the season now, and you'll see. But for me, there's no rhyme or reason to what they're doing at all. So we will see. Cap for life. Do we overpay for JC Treader, or do we wait it out and possibly risk Tampa Bay taking him? Tampa's not taking him, dude. Jensen is out for 2 months. 5 of those 8 weeks are here in the preseason, in the training camp. He got injured 2 weeks ago, and they didn't sign JC Treader. He's got 3 more weeks. So he'll be ready in the first month of the season, by the end of the first month. That's why they're not signing JC Treader. And then here's the other thing for the Dolphins. I don't know if he can play on this line. I don't know if he can play in this scheme. He can't move around like that. He doesn't have the knees to do that. He's got to kind of play in a phone booth. So if you need your center to be able to pull at times, or move up to the second level and go find somebody, and he's not very good at that, that may not be the guy you need. You know that, right? And I don't know if that's his game. I got to do a little more research on that, but I know with his knee issues, I don't know if that's That's a good move. You know what I mean? I need to find out more about that. Let's see, what else do we have? Watching Byron Jones film last year wasn't doing good. Wasn't what? Byron Jones played well last year, my brother. I'm not sure what you're saying. His whole season overall, he did a solid job, man. He's not a problem here. What's your level of concern about offense overall, considering it's still practice? Listen, the offense is the major question mark on the team. We will find out if they've figured it out. I mean, that's time will tell us that. I do want to tell you about Liquor Split. We love Liquor Split, and folks, right now you can order. This is Miami's own liquor store. So if you're sitting there in Coral Way, in downtown, Coral Gables, Westchester, Virginia Gardens, Coconut Grove, West Flagler, Flagami, Overtown, Upper East Side, El Portal, West Little River. Man, download the app, iOS or Android. Keep the party going. Keep the meeting going. You're watching your sporting event, man, don't miss out. Just wait. Just tap that app and order that beer, that wine, that vodka, that rum, that whiskey that you ran out of. They've got the snacks. They've got some smokes. Check it all out. And your first order, we're going to give you 15% off. Big O15 is the code. Use the code Big O15. Download the app, Liquor Split. Tap that app here in Miami. It is Miami's own liquor store. Tap that app, Big O15, liquorsplit.com. It's a beautiful thing. All right, what else do we have here? Oh, you know what we have? We have a 23-9 record. Yeah. 23-9. How about that? 23-9 against the number. Last night, we gave you another winner. Let's see if we can do it again in our Liquor Split matchup of the night.
It's time to tap that app. And no one loves to tap that app like the Big O. Here's the Liquor Split matchup of the night.
Right, all right. So yesterday, we told you to go with the Phillies minus 1.5 runs. All right. And they ended up beating Washington 7-2. So you got your win there if you went with us. And now you improved to 23-9 in our last 32 selections against the number. Today, the Marlins continue their set against the Cubs. They lost yesterday 2-1. Miami is favored by 1.5 runs. Pablo Lopez is on the mound, but I'm not going there. I'm not touching this game with Pablo Lopez and Drew Smyly. Right now, I don't know if I can trust Pablo Lopez. The trading deadline has passed. It looks like it was affecting him in the last couple of outings, including that last one where he just got walloped. I don't know what Pablo Lopez we're going to get right now, so I'm not ready to lay a 1.5 right now with the Marlins against the – and I know the Cubs suck, but the Marlins aren't anything special either. I'm going to go back to the well, and I'm going to go back to the Nationals and the Phillies. And remember, we gave you the stats yesterday, okay? The Phillies now own a 7-2 record against Washington. And Washington is 7-24 in their last 31 games. And the Phillies now have won 8 of their last 9 games. So right now, we've got Patrick Corbin on the mound taking on one of my favorite names in baseball, Ranger Suarez. I mean, yes. Honey, look at our baby. Boy, he's so beautiful. What do we call him? Ranger. Okay. Ranger Suarez. That's just a freaking cool name. Anyway, Patrick Corbin is not having a good year. He's 4-15 for the Nationals in a 6.57 ERA. Not very motivating. Ranger Suarez is 7-5 with a 3.60 ERA. The Phillies are favored by 1.5. The over and under is 9 runs. Washington is plus 210 in the money line, and Philly is minus 250 in the money line. I can't in any right mind tell you to lay 250 to win 100. I got to stay away from that. The over and under, I just don't know if the Nationals can do their part. So I am going to go once again with the Phillies in this one. I'm going to lay the 1.5 runs against the Nationals. And we are looking for our 24th win in our 33rd game here, as our streak right now is 23-9 against the number in our last 32 games. That, my friends, is our liquor split matchup of the night.
The matchup of the night is brought to you by Liquor Split, Miami's own online liquor store. Liquor Split. Download the Tap That app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, as always, all of you out there for supporting us like you do, just like Perdomo Cigars supports us all the time. And there you go, a little 10th anniversary. That, let me tell you something, it is just absolutely delicious when we talk about the 10th anniversary, or when we talk about the 12th anniversary. Oh, Lord, the age 12-year vintage, which is just an absolutely beautiful cigar. 12 years, double age vintage, 91 on the Cigar Journal. That's what I'm telling you. You want to go check out a great line of cigars. This one right here that you're looking at is the Cigar of the Year in 2021, folks, by Cigar Journal. So check it out, whether we're talking about the Lot 23, we're talking about the 10th anniversary champagne, which is so good. So many great cigars in the Perdomo family line. Go to your nearest cigar store, man, and ask for it by name, or better yet, if you haven't been to the Perdomo offices, oh, man, in Miami Gardens, you may drive by there and you see the warehouse and you go, I can't go in there, right? That's a warehouse. There's no way they're going to allow me. No, actually, they want you to go there. Why? Because they've got a full humidor there, a ginormous humidor. They've got a lounge that with giant leather couch that I swear to you, it's one of the largest leather couches I have ever seen in my life. Easily 20 people can sit next to each other all the way around in that couch. They got a giant TV so you can watch sports or anything else going on. There's all kinds of great paraphernalia you can buy. Nick Perdomo is in the building a lot of times when he's not traveling around the world. 5150 Northwest 167th Street. Go check it out and check out Perdomo Cigars, man. It is going to blow you away. Go to perdomocigars.com. All right. The Bug Mike, thank you for the love on the super chat, my brother. He says, let's hope Tua stays healthy this season so he can shut up all the haters. And listen, man, nobody is looking forward to watching Tua shut up the haters more than me, because I see the haters around. I see the people that doubt the guy. So, Bug Mike, I am with you, my brother. And thank you for the love on the super chat. That is just absolutely phenomenal. I appreciate you. Sean Seipler, Sean Seipler, you, sir, are out of control. Thank you, my brother, again for the super chat. He says, Big O, are you back out there tomorrow? If so, want a quick chat about advertising on the Big O show. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Sean. I might go out there. I'm not sure. The wife wanted to go check it out, so I may take the wife for a little bit. So if I go out there, I can't promise, okay, because the plans were not to go out there, but maybe. And by the way, Sean, so you'll know, we do have a business line, 786-754-4664. So if you can, Sean, call me on that business line, 786-754-4664. We can get in contact with you and we can talk. And maybe what we could do is meet somewhere. I don't know if I'll go tomorrow, but maybe we can meet somewhere during the week and talk a little business. And if your business, by the way, wants to join our platform, which is growing, we're pacing for 26 million downloads this year on audio side. On the video side, we're building up our YouTube channel. We're over 13,300 followers. And by the way, please follow and like the show and hit the notification bell. So, Sean, thank you, sir. Reach out to us on the business line, 786-754-4664, and leave us a message there, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So just in case if I don't go tomorrow, I appreciate it, Sean. And thank you for your interest in wanting to support us and help our platform grow, man. That is very, very important. Thank you, sir. Paige Sporanic likes Perdomo cigars. Well, anything that Paige likes, we will like. That's all I can tell you. Let's see. McDaniel has to be panicking after seeing just how bad Tua's arm is live action. They aren't even hitting the net. They go in the net, dude. What are you talking about? They overthrow people. Scott, listen, my brother, if you're just going to talk shit and not really know what the hell is actually going on, don't run your mouth, bro. He got it in the net a couple times. He overthrows people. And those throws were 45 yards and 50 yards, and he flicks them. So he does throw. Problem is that if you keep reading or following or listening to the wrong people, they're just going to mislead you. He's got more than enough arm to succeed in this league. It's the dumbest thing in the world. It is incredibly ignorant. Big O, is it true that a lot of fans are recording on their phones and posting, and that is why Dolphin practice more on the far end of that's Frankie, that's always been like that. They always practice on the far end. They always do it to us that way. It's always been like that. That's nothing new. You know? So, yeah. What else do we have? No, Scott obviously did not go to practice, Woodson, because if you would have been watching practice, you would have seen that, he got it in the net twice. He hit the post that holds the net. Okay, so it was kind of almost right there on target. It's all right. It's just, listen, we talked about this either yesterday or Thursday or something. The hater is going to hate. And because the hater has put himself in this spot, they are going to do everything to try to justify their position, even though they're wrong. It's like listening to Stephen Ross say, well, the NFL justified us. No, it didn't, you moron. They basically said, you're incredibly guilty. You're also incredibly incompetent. You're so stupid, you shouldn't even try to cheat. So here's a first and a third rounder, and you're suspended, and Bruce Beal, you're suspended. And we all know that you tried to tank, but we can't bury you for tanking because it's going to hurt the rest of the league. So, since the rest of us that have common sense, Stephen Ross, we know the truth, just shut up and take the L. But he couldn't even do that. He couldn't even be man enough to take the L. And we'll see how many people are going to be man enough to take the L when Tua proves all of those folks wrong. That's all. So, if Tua's overthrowing guys, then he has too much of a strong arm, and we need to bench him for Skylar Thompson. Exactly. Skylar also overthrows people a lot. He's got a nice arm, man. I'm telling you, if they can make him a backup quarterback by next year, that is just absolutely amazing coaching. Okay? So we got Mac Jones having bad practices. We have Josh Allen getting in fights in practice. No one cares about the Jets, and Tua's rocking. Fins up. Everybody has bad moments in practice. Amen to that. Amen to that. We all have bad days, don't we? Don't you have a bad day at work or two or three, right? We all work hard. We try our best. No matter how hard we try, we're not going to there's going to be days that we're a little off and we're not on. And if you're in a competition setting, well, you're not going to win all the time. You're going to lose sometimes too. That's kind of part of what it is. Right? If you're in a group of salespeople and you're all competing for who's going to sell the most whatever, knives, cars, vacuum cleaners, whatever the hell it is, you're not winning that competition every month. You're going to lose a lot. And you're going to win some, hopefully. It's the way it is. And you're going to have months where you're like, holy crap, I can't sell anything. I can't sell winter coats to Eskimos. Big O, just want to say you're my favorite Miami sports radio guy. Well, thank you, Jay Vickers. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Miami needs to shut up the critics. We will hope so. Arnaldo Alonso says, Big O, real concern is a center position. Hope Williams can get it. Well, it's the snapping. We're not really having trouble with the blocking. It's the snapping. Okay? That's really the problem. And that's where we got to look at it. All right, 855-912-1056 if you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line. That's 855-912-1056 if you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because, my friends, that is a 24-hour talk show. And I do want to remind you that Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines is a proud sponsor of our program. And we've been telling you about Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines for a long time now, man. Over 12 years now. No, 13 years now, actually. Last 12, they've been the number one volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. And folks, go on out there, check it out. The new Integra is in. The 2023 Integra is in. It is beautiful. It is going to blow you away. $369 a month. Check out the lease features there. They've got plenty of 2022 models too. MDX, RDX. Go out there. They got a terrific selection of brand new and certified pre-owned vehicles. So make sure you tell them that Big O sent you, and they will take care of you at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business, baby. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Let's see. When I see film breakdown of Burrow, Herbert, and Mack, I notice the many hours they have behind the O-line, yet it seems to be glossed over. I'm not worried. Don't worry about any of that, my brother. They can worry about what they've got to take care of, and they'll figure it all out. Okay? It'll all work out. All right, let's unleash the wolf pack.
We unleash the wolf pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All right, it's a beautiful thing. Here we go. Where are you at right now?
I am in my Vegas hotel room. I will say I woke up not too long ago. It's been that type of
well, it's noon. It's 12:35 over there. Yeah. So yeah. I get it. I get it.
It was a
Vegas, long. I get it. You were having some fun last night and all that good stuff. So yeah. I get it right now. It's
long training camp.
Good.
It's a long training camp. You get to unwind for a day in Vegas. You got to do it, right?
Yeah. How do they do it over there? Do they practice inside that stadium, or do they practice literally outside in that heat sometimes?
So they practice in Henderson, which is actually not in the stadium. So they practice in like a suburb that's maybe 20, 30 minutes away.
A practice facility, right?
Yeah, and they're practice. So it's kind of like how Davie was for the Dolphins. Like their stadiums in Vegas, their facilities 20, 30 minutes away in the suburbs. So they typically do that. And they practice outside a lot of times. So They do either early morning practice or late afternoon practice to kind of avoid the heat as much as you can. But yeah, it's a lot. I think I've told you this, Big O. I prefer the humidity over the dry heat.
Yeah,
I think
I don't like it when it's harder to breathe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Like, yo, where's the air? Yo, I
Yes.
don't taste anything.
Exactly.
Come here. You know, it's like an
And-
oven, and you're like,
for-
oh, dude, like
me,
am I walking in a sauna with a bunch of hotels?
And for me, I always drink water at the middle of the night. Like that's a common thing. But here I feel like I'm so thirsty all the time. I'm always dry, always thirsty, everything. I don't sweat as much, but it's just like constant lack of moisture.
Right. No, I'm with you.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'll slip through a shirt before I do this dry heat.
And I've got to pack my Nature Bee lip gloss because, dude, my lips get, the second I get out west.
Yep.
It's Vegas. It's not as bad in Southern California, but in Vegas, Jesus Christ, dude, I gotta be putting it on, every hour, because when you're outside, forget about it, dude. Everything dries up. It's like it's just different, man. It's just absolutely different out there. Looks like the guy that's kind of an interesting project is the Skylar Thompson kid, and when you draft a quarterback in the 7th round, most of the time he's not going to make your team. Yeah, you're lucky if he's even good enough to be on the practice squad usually, okay?
Right.
And everything I see about this kid, and from what I'm told inside the building, he's kind of viewed as ceiling is backup quarterback. But man, you watch today, he made the best throw he had made in camp so far in the first couple of weeks. Yeah, he had a really nasty throw, and he's really gifted. I can see why they picked him, because that's what you want in these kind of projects, that you say, okay, physically he has it, but he's so green and everything else. Now we've got to see if he can fine tune his talent that God gave him to play at this level. That's kind of what it is with him. He's got to learn he's got to learn touch passes and things like that. That's something he's got to work, because he's got a bigger arm overall. What have you heard about that kid? What have they told you?
Yeah, I think you're right that when they drafted him, a lot of people were like, hey, why are you picking a quarterback? And so my thought is immediately, okay, this guy's probably a practice squad quarterback. And I think that's probably still where he ends up. You have Bridgewater and 2 on the roster. You're not going to keep 3. But they saw something. And sometimes in quarterbacks, we get so obsessed with his arm talent and can he do this? And they saw that he can maximize his skill set, and is a scrappy dude. And so he fits the mold of the backup quarterback. He kind of feels like a Gardner Minshew ceiling. Like if you can get a Gardner Minshew type player out of him, he's never going to throw the 60-yard bomb down the field, but he's tough as nails. He can run. He's mobile. The big thing for him is he was hurt coming out of college. And so he didn't, not saying he would have got drafted much higher, but they essentially were betting on him to bounce back after not seeing much tape on him last year. So they were hoping that, hey, he can run a lot of the mobility elements of their offense, play some scout team quarterback. And I think they might even be pleasantly surprised at how he's looked maybe in a week or 2 of training camp. And so that's, every time I was watching the quarterbacks, obviously a third quarterback gets saying, you think, oh, I'm just going to relax. None of this matters. And he would make some nice throws. And I'm like, okay.
There's ability there. There's ability there. There's like that. You see, let's be honest. It's the best arm in camp.
Right.
Let's just be honest. That's the best arm in camp right now. The kid's got a gun, man.
Yeah.
The kid's got a gun. He doesn't know where it's going.
Right.
Okay.
but that's part of the young quarterback deal.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's something continue to work developing. And then who knows? Maybe in a year, if Tua proves he's the guy, maybe you decide, hey, we're good there. We don't need a veteran backup. Maybe Skylar can earn that backup job, and you don't have to pay Teddy Bridgewater $7 million a year. Maybe that money can go elsewhere. So I think that's probably their ceiling for a guy like him. Maybe in year 2 or year 3, if he can prove that he can, be that sole backup. But this year, probably more of a developmental guy on the practice squad. But definitely has flashed throughout the days I've seen him.
Now, I was sitting with my boy Travis Wingfield and Kyle Krabs, and we were talking, and we were wondering how this conversation went in the offseason because you look at this team now, right?
Yep.
And you look at the mess that was on the field last year,
Mm-hmm.
and like the speed is so much different, dude, from
Yep.
the running backs to the wide receivers, obviously, but it's not just Tyreek and Waddle. You
Right.
know, Stead has got some speed. Azukama has now pleasantly surprised you. Made another big catch today down the field. That he's not just a big kid; he can also run too. Actually, you know what I mean. And
Right.
you start to look around, and I just wonder how that conversation went, Cam, at the beginning, like when Mike got into that building. All right, Chris, I've looked at the film. Why the fuck are we this slow? Come on, we got to do something here. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yep.
Because Jesus Christ, the difference on this team now to last year, it's night and day. I tried to get it out of Jalen Phillips today. I
Mm-hmm.
tried to ask him about, what you practiced against last year compared to what you're practicing against now, but he stayed very vanilla and
Gotcha.
didn't really want to be. But can you think about, I mean, you could tell philosophically that everything changed. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so obvious, right?
Yeah, I think that you see McDaniel was very clear when he got here of what he prioritized and speed, and you kind of hear that it's like, yeah, we all like fast dudes, but it's different. Like when that is a top priority, like every dude I want to have a fast football team. Like you always want strong, fast, athletic, but specifying speed makes your team more dimensional, and honestly, it gives you more margin of error. So like if Tua's off on a throw by a yard or two, but Tyreek beats his dude by 4 yards,
Right.
then you have that margin of error. If you have Devontae Parker as your receiver and he's beating a dude by a half a yard and Tua's off by a half a yard, then that's a pass breakup. And
Right.
so speed gives you margin of error on defense. You know, a guy makes a wrong first step, he can recover because he has a team speed. And so when I watched this team in previous years, especially against Buffalo, lack of speed showed up on defense. You know, good defense, lack of speed showed up on offense throughout the season. We saw that lack of speed showed up where Tua's not going to have the time, to get the ball off because of the offensive line, but also a guy who he can just jump the ball off for 5 yards and take it outside of Jalen Waddle. And so I'm eager to see it. I think there's been a lot of, that 4, 5, 6 receiver battle has been fun
Right.
to watch because I think I came in with my mind thinking, okay, Preston Williams and Lynn Bowden were guys who probably had a heads up on that job. And now I think that they might be on the outside looking in. And it's, guys like, Braylon Sanders competing for that job. Ezekama is obviously going to be on the team. You got guys like Trent Sherfield, who's been looking good. Guys who are different dynamic elements of players than maybe we anticipated. And so, I think it's going to be interesting to watch how it all comes together. I mean, we hadn't even mentioned Raheem Mostert. Guy is
What I mean, it's just
maybe the
it's all
fastest
over
dude,
the damn
the
place, bro.
fastest dude on the team. So it makes the Dolphins more fun to watch, but I think it'll make them better as well.
Yeah, and listen, I talked about this earlier in the week when you had Duper and Clayton here, and obviously I'm old enough because I lived it. Those guys were fast.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are at another gear, bro.
Yep.
They're at another gear. I mean, Duper is close to these guys. Clayton was fast, but not like these guys. What
Right.
Clayton was a freak of an athlete. Like he could go up in the air. He could jump higher than anybody that was a foot taller than him.
Right.
And he had body control and he had strength. I mean, there was, you could go back if you want, you go on YouTube and go Battle of the Network Stars and all that, and you'll see
Right.
Clayton there, and he'll be squatting 500 pounds. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Clayton was a special athlete.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But not like these guys. These guys are different.
Yep.
These guys are at another gear. They're they're slightly faster than Duper.
Yep.
But then the most dangerous thing about these guys is that they can change directions on the drop of a dime. They don't have to slow down. And to me, that is going to create so many advantages for everybody, because you started this conversation talking about what? Getting separation, right?
Yep.
All you see out there when Waddle and Tyreek are running, except when X is covering them, is separation. You know, X in the last 2 days, X is gone. I don't know what happened. He said, F this, I'm gonna lock you guys down.
Yeah. So I'm asking you, I know we talked about this offseason. Do you still want to trade X?
No, not now that he has no more of these stupid ass salary issues. No.
Gotcha.
Not anymore. We're not dealing with domestic issues anymore. We're not dealing with knee issues anymore right now. Looks like whatever he did that last time 2 years ago, it worked.
Right.
And we're not dealing with every year it's a contract thing. And so to me, that's not you can't have that. You gotta either shit or get off the pot.
Right.
And so they finally gave him his money.
I'd imagine this will be the last kind of big contract deal for X.
For sure.
And so ideally it's settled. But he's been one of those like it's interesting, just kind of brief aside. Mike McDaniel has been very careful in taking care of his vets throughout training camp. You know, we haven't seen a lot of Teron Armstead or Raheem Mostert coming off injury. A lot of these guys have taken some days off. They had a load management day for Tyreek and Chase Edmonds the other day. But X has been out there very frequently. And that, you know, I don't know if it's him wanting to stay out there or if it's McDaniel, but I think that, you know, people worry, oh, you give a guy a new deal, is he going to lack motivation, that sort of thing. No, if training camp's any indication, this dude is coming out to prove that he's a top 3 corner and people should continue to respect him as such. So that's the element. Like we talk so much about the new additions on offense. I think that's one element on defense, just kind of seeing the guys that not only take a next step, but also solidify themselves at who they are. So Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland, we talked a lot about those guys taking next step. But if you get Xavier Howard, Emmanuel Agba, some of these players, Christian Wilkins, who have already been good to continue to be good, then that gives you that margin of error for the offense as well.
It's been the last 2 days, been a lot of fun watching when X lines up against the top guys, and it's been pretty cool watching that battle. You just don't beat the guy much, you know. It's just it's pretty amazing. Now, let me go to this other thing. And I was going to talk about this on the show. I think Waddle, you know, like today, he high pointed a ball down the sideline that Tua threw, and he caught it. And it was a lot like the one that he had a high point last year that Tua rolled out to the left and threw that high pass. You remember that he high pointed it. And so, and these are things that we didn't get to see a lot from him because he was playing from the slot.
Right.
Which, let's be honest now, he has no business being the slot. Not that he can't do it. He can dominate from the damn slot, but he's an outside receiver, bro. He's too good to be inside at the slot. He is so valuable to go on the outside and just create havoc. But I think what people don't realize much, or maybe it's not realizing, it's kind of overlooking, because the kid was such a phenomenal team player last year, didn't complain, didn't say anything. He said, all right, coach, this is what you need from me. I'll do it. I'll get it done. And he did it. But I think what he proved right away, that he is a complete wide receiver. Yep. That he can work the underneath, he could go over the top, he can high point the ball, and then he can also play the slot.
Yep.
And play the slot with a toughness too. Because last year, unlike this year, you literally don't know who's going to get the ball.
Right.
Last year, 98% of the time, it was going to go to Waddle. Yep. And then it was, you know, everybody else was injured or whoever played part-time or whatever. And Gesicki was barely used and all that. So you knew that's how good this guy is. You knew it was going to Waddle, and you still couldn't stop it.
Yep.
To me, that's what Waddle has already proven to you, and I'm saying Dolphin fans, that he is a complete wide receiver, that you can do anything and everything with him, because what he's going to do this year is what he was already doing for years at Alabama.
Right.
What he did last year was something he had never been asked to do. And for him to do it and excel at it and catch over 100 passes, I think it shows his greatness. Agree or disagree?
Oh, absolutely. I've said this, and it's weird to say because, like, none of us are going to sleep on Jalen Waddle. We know how good he is, right? But, like, so much attention is on Tyreek. Like Jalen Waddle's the number one receiver. Like you have two number one
Yes.
receivers on this team. I
Yes.
saw enough in him as a rookie to know that like it would not shock me. Actually, I expected for them to have both 1,000-yard seasons. Like I don't remember the last time the Dolphins. I had to look up the numbers. Hopefully, it's more recent than Clayton and Duper. But I know I'd imagine that 1,000-yard season for both Tyreek and Waddle are in the book. And Waddle, just watching him in training camp, like you talk about battles with X and Tyreek, Jalen Waddle and X have had some really, really good battles. Like, and Jalen actually has won a fair amount of them, and X doesn't lose many one-on-ones. So I'm excited for Jalen. And I think the big thing for Jalen, and he touched on this when we did an interview for NFL Network, is that he was so horizontal in everything he did, but subtly, more and more, you've seen him add more vertical in this offense. Yeah. And so Tyreek won't be the only deep threat. Everybody, like Tyreek obviously is the deep threat, but Jalen, I think you're gonna see more of what he did in college, along with some of the stuff he did last year, and more of a mixed bag. And there's more diversity because you can have Tyreek in the slot, you can have Jalen in the slot, you can have Cedric Wilson in the slot, and all of them can play outside as well. And so that's that fun matchmaking.
Yeah, but think about being the free safety.
Yeah,
you don't have time, and you're going to have to make a quick commitment to one side or the other, right? Which I think Tua is going to have a field day with this because you're going to have to free somebody up, and both guys are going to be able to get behind 99% of the cornerbacks in this league.
Right.
Very few of them are going to run stride for stride. Most of them are going to be right behind them, and once you do that with Tua's accuracy, he's going to drop it right in front of the guy. 99% of the time also. So to me, that's the other thing about the speed on the outside. It just opens everything up, and that free safety. I don't know if that guy gets a minute of sleep the night before he has to face those two guys.
I am intrigued to see the one thing that we won't know until September. Maybe I guess we'll see some in preseason is how defenses, like what coverages they go about playing these guys. Like last year,
can't bracket both.
Right. In Kansas City, they played a lot of too high safety, right? And they tried to force Patrick Mahomes to dink and dunk because they felt like he wasn't going to be patient. But Tua is a different quarterback, as we know, obviously. And to me, it would almost seem the opposite because the narrative is Tua can't throw deep. So maybe they play a lot of single high safety and challenge Tua to throw deep. But then what if he proves he can do it? And how do they adjust to that? Like that's the fun element for me to see how defenses go about it, because there's no right answer.
And think about this. Remember, with Sed and Gesicki, you now have big targets in the middle because Sed is a big slot, which your slot normally is not a big guy. But in this case, you have a big slot. So that free safety is going to move one way or the other. The middle of that field is going to be wide open.
Right.
And that's where Gesicki and Sed are going to end up having a field day. With all of this. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, I'm sure he's like, and let me ask you something, because we've talked about this a couple times throughout the week, and we talked about it today in the stands. The tight end is not being used a lot, and that's used a lot in this offense, always. So I'm wondering, there's a couple things. It's either one, they don't want to show a lot of it until they get to the regular season. They kind of know that Gesicki can catch, so they're not that worried about that. Or they're so worried about the running game and that the tight ends block that they're more focusing on the tight ends early on to be blockers to make sure that they get the running game going. I don't know what it is.
So I think my initial guess, like I said, I haven't talked to McDaniel about this, but my initial guess is that you're right. The core of this offense will be the run game, and it takes time to get that established. And so a lot of that comes through knowing your assignments, focusing on blocking and movement. And so, the tight ends have been really quiet. And honestly, Gesicki's been pretty invisible. But I've seen a lot of, Durham Smythe getting playing time as a blocking tight end. And so I do wonder.
Name of that crazy ass offensive coordinator with the Rams, who then became the head coach after Vermeil won the title. Then he went to the Lions. the offense looks like his offense, that they never use the tight end. I forgot the guy's name now.
Right.
Damn it. But anyway, that's what it reminds me.
So that is the one thing I am curious about. And, there was kind of some under the radar stuff about Mike Gesicki that kind of caught some people's eyes, kind of Mike McDaniel saying he's got, 10 million reasons to be happy. And, Gesicki kind of making, hey, maybe I should have complained like the other guys because that gets them new contracts. I honestly don't know how Mike Gesicki fits in this offense. Like, I know a lot of Dolphins fans are like, Gesicki, you make it work. And I think they're going to try to make it work. But would it shock me if, Gesicki is the odd man out in the offense that has a lot of mouths to feed? No. I mean, like, ideally you're saying, hey, he's a big target. You should be able to work out. But with Hill and Jalen going to get as many targets as they're expecting to do, the running backs are going to be such a key element in the passing game as well. And the run game is going to be the core of this offense. And you got Cedric Wilson. There's just not going to be a lot of balls around. So it would not surprise me if they have less routes run for their tight end, this year than they have in previous years. And Gesicki mentioned it before. He's been playing a lot of inline tight end versus out slot receiver, which he's done in the past. And I have never been a huge fan of trying to force Mike Gesicki to be a blocker. It's just not what he does. You can try to help him. You try to work on him. You can try to have him in to chip. But if you're going to have him in as a true inline blocker, try to have him be your George Kittle. I just don't think that's going to work out in your favor as a blocker.
But if somehow he figures out to be a decent blocker, he actually will end up making himself even more money next offseason.
Absolutely.
So there is that opportunity for him to add a little extra jingle to his value if he can be a two-way tight end. All right, follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf and catch his work there at the NFL Network. When you back this week? Or you back when you go to Tampa?
So I may go to Tampa on Thursday. I'm going to Cincinnati and Indianapolis. I'm going to Cincinnati tonight and going to be there Sunday, Indianapolis Monday. Then I'm coming back to Miami. We're on set live from NFL Network, our last day of Inside Training Camp on Wednesday. So they're going to have like 6 or 7 people on set. Steve Smith will be there, Ian Rappaport, a few other people. So they're full there, so I won't be there Wednesday. But they may have me come up Wednesday during the day and then be on TV Thursday from joint practices. So I'll keep you guys posted on that.
There you go. Got a steak at Burns. All right, follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf. Have you had the escargot there at Burns Steakhouse?
No, I've not.
The best escargot on the planet is there.
Really?
Yes.
That might be worth
you like
trying.
escargot?
Yeah.
Trust me. Trust me on this.
Right.
Okay? All right.
I'll check it out.
All right, Cam. We'll catch up next week, my friend. Safe in your travels, right?
You too.
You got it. There you go. Cameron Wolf. The Wolf Pack has been unleashed.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve. Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
There he is, Ira Winderman. He is ready. He is locked and loaded. I like these new boards that Sean came up with. Looks really sharp. Very nice job by you, Sean. Anyway, Ira, how you feeling, baby? You feeling good on a Saturday?
Good on a Saturday, although I was out there for about 2 hours and 20 minutes of tennis this morning. Almost died. It's like, I got to tell you one thing, and you remember this back to the Shirley years of the Dolphins. If you don't maximize this South Florida heat advantage, if you're the Dolphins, I mean, you know what it was like out of camp today. It's a 100-degree temperature heat index every single day. You got to maximize it. But holy crap, Big O. I mean, August in South Florida is like, I don't know, sort of just south of hell.
I'm with you. No, it's absolutely brutal. And when you're out west like we were, I was just talking because Cam's out there, just feels like an oven. Here it feels like you're in a I guess a pressure cooker, and over there you feel like you're in an oven. I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
here you got that nice moistness at least going for you. So there,
Yeah.
so yeah, as my
I'm
people would say, you're schwitzing a little, but at least you're out there and it's cooling you off some. And I got to tell you, I really haven't experienced August winds like this in recent years. And maybe it's global climate change or whatever, but it's been far windier for any August than I know. So that's been a little change of pace also.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Let me ask you before I get into the heat.
Sure.
Did you see Sharif O'Neal and Robert Ory exchange? And I got to tell you something. Props to Shaq and Shawnee. I don't know which one raised them more, whatever the hell. Or I loved how he handled it. I thought that was like incredibly mature. You don't expect most of these kids to take it that way. He took it like a challenge. He took it like a respectful elder respectfully busting your balls. You know what I'm saying? And I really liked his. And for those of you that don't know, Robert Ory put out, I don't know if he has that dog in him to go out there and take what he wants. And he was elaborating, like, if you're going to carry the O'Neal name and all that stuff. So Sharif says, I know this is out of love and no disrespect. I got you, big shot. But you know who raised me. I don't quit. Always been taught to go get it and take it. Been heading in the right step. Like I said, I got you. You'll see. I don't know if Sharif will ever turn into anything.
He won't.
I don't know how good he is or anything like that. And I know it's brutal being a son of these kids because I watch Michael's kid. I watch Pete Rose's kid. I watch Ted Williams' kid. I've seen it throughout my entire life. It's the most brutal thing in the world to be the son or daughter of one of these great athletes. You know what I mean? But I'll give him credit at least.
And Sharif O'Neal would not have been in the Lakers Summer League if it wasn't for his family name. But you know what, folks? That's part of life. Because Alonzo Mourning's son would not have been able to cobble together a career, Trey Mourning, with the Heat's G League team in Sioux Falls. Then he got an offer to play in New Zealand. So, yeah, it's like anything else in life. You take advantage of your family name, but it's not going to put you in the NBA if you're not good enough. It's not going to get you a roster spot. It'll open some doors. And you know what? Sharif O'Neal can go overseas and carve out a basketball career if that's his passion. We've seen Glenn Rice Jr. Glenn Rice's son has done that. We've seen Anthony Mason Jr. spend some time with the Heat and then went to their G League team also. You do take care of your own. It's not nepotism or anything like that when it's a matter of just getting them in the door, in the door in the game. If you were to give them a roster spot, it would be a lot different, but you don't see that with most of these players. So yes, Sharif O'Neal will wind up somewhere in the basketball universe, G League or otherwise. Look, Big O, look at last year. Dwayne Wade's son played for Salt Lake, for the Utah Jazz's G League team. Never went anywhere. No one's talking about him since. But hey, you can do that for your kid. These are the kind of things, if you can open doors for your kids, you see where it leads. And eventually, someone like Sharif O'Neal, like Dwayne Wade's son, will realize, okay, my dad was great. I'm not good enough. No shame in that. I'll be great in something else.
Yeah, no, it's I just like that he's grounded enough to handle it, the right way. And I'm sure he also knows deep down inside he's got a lot to prove. So sure. It's good. I was impressed because you don't see young people handling things like that
maturely
more often than that maturely. They just don't, man. All right, fill us in, man. What's going on in the Heat Nation? It's kind of like almost the same conversation we have twice a week here.
Yeah, you know,
What has changed here in
there
early
are some subtle things. We know that Kyle Lowry spoke the other day about in the golf tournament in Toronto, Nick Nurse's golf tournament, that hey, I was distracted on something that had to distract me because of a major family issue. And again, when you remember this in February, you were asking me what it was, and I said yes, I know, but I'm not getting into it. But we all know that if something is deeply involving a loved one, a member of your family, you prioritize that. And I've seen people in Ask Ira at sunsentinel.com, enough is enough. No, that just doesn't change. But here's the deal. He recognized that he wasn't the same player because of it. So he didn't, when you talk about maturity, he also could have said, hey, I still was good enough. I still did all you ask. I just got hurt in the playoffs. I love a player who says, you know what? I need to do more. He used the word 3 different times in his interview with the group session in Toronto that his season was derailed. And I love that, Big O, for this reason. If you acknowledge your season was derailed, you're saying you're not the player you should have been. You should have been more. And maybe by saying his season was derailed, what he also was saying was his conditioning was derailed. So we had that. Then he went on Vince Carter's podcast. That actually was taped before he was in Toronto. And he was talked about there's an acronym called THCC, THCC, and it's for someone who has junk in their trunk, shall we say. And it's been used for Kardashians, but I didn't know this until I saw it. There are so many memes of sort of Kyle Lowry, I like big butts, and I got one, and I ain't gonna lie. And it was kind of funny. And he said, you know what? This is who I always was. This is who I was at Villanova. This is who I was when I came up in the NBA. This is who I was when I was a 2-time All-Star. This is my body type. He realizes he has to get in better shape, but he says, you're not going to change what he is. And you remember this, Big O. Yes, Tim Hardaway at times was out of shape or overweight, but he always had that big butt that he worked to his advantage, that he was a 6-foot post-up player who a month from today now is going into the Basketball Hall of Fame. He found a way. And one other thing with Kyle, and I listened to this, I'm going to write a story in the Sun Sentinel about it, is Kyle also said, just because I have 2 years on my contract doesn't mean I'm thinking about hanging it up. And I'm going to play as long as I love the game and as long as I love winning. And I think that's important because I think a lot of us are looking at this Miami Heat 2-year window. And if there's a kind of cerebral player who might be able to extend his career, I could see Kyle Lowry as a point guard being that kind of player. So what I like is you're talking about a slow summer. So we get to look in a little bit different direction. But here's what matters the most. And I don't know what kind of language I'm going to use so you can fill it in. Kyle Lowry gives I'll say damn. You can use an S word or something like that. Right. That's all I ask. That's all I ask is for a player to say last season wasn't good enough and I have to give you more. And I think that's what we're seeing slowly in these small public, outings by Kyle Lowry saying, I've got to be better. Because Big O said it at the end of the season. Pat Riley said it at the end of the season. Eric Spoelstra said it at the end of the season. We all were waiting. Does Kyle know that he wasn't great last season? And now Kyle is saying, yeah, I not only wasn't great, I really wasn't that good. And I have to be better. You know what, Big O? You have to start somewhere. So if you're talking about Sharif O'Neal's candor, I think you can also mention Kyle Lowry's candor. That's all I want. Is someone saying I have to be better. If he said he was good enough, oh my God, you and I would have more fodder and carries right to the start of training camp.
Yeah, we would definitely have a problem with that. All right, your partner in crime every Wednesday on the redrecover.com Inside the Paint show, Kurt Heelan, had a report there in Pro Basketball Talk talking about other teams not willing to facilitate the Kevin Durant deal. Now, from my understanding, it doesn't seem like Boston really needs a third team, but the Suns may need a third team. The Heat may need a third team. What are you hearing? What's going on? Because if there's an issue with a third team, then that really creates we've talked about this already. Miami's already at a major disadvantage. This just makes the disadvantage that much bigger if there aren't other teams that are, I guess, willing to help facilitate or
again, everyone is willing to do something at a price. Right. So you have to just wait it out. This is the liar's poker we've spoken about. I just posted my column at sunsentinel.com about the fear of missing out and what the Heat are going to do. Think about some of the biggest Heat trades ever. Think about that humongous trade they made with Memphis. Remember when they got Jason Williams and Antoine Walker and James Posey? It involved the Pelicans and the Celtics, and I think the Jazz were in there. I think it was a 4 or 5 team trade. So you have a trade like that. Think of the Jimmy Butler trade. Pat Riley, Andy Ellisberg had no salary cap space. All of a sudden, Hassan Whiteside was going to Portland, and the Heat draft choice was going to the Clippers, and the Heat were getting Mo Harkless back in the deal. And what was supposed to be just the Miami Heat making a simple sign and trade with Josh Richardson to the Philadelphia 76ers became this massive deal that at one point, as you remember, Big O, Dallas was almost involved. Remember, Olynyk and Goran Dragic were going to be part of that also. Stuff is hard, and weak and small-time front offices can't think in sort of that, the beautiful mind type of thinking. Andy Ellisberg can. He has that big board in front of him, and he's moving things around. So if you're telling me the Heat can't make a deal for Kevin Durant because it might be hard, if you're telling me they can't make a deal for Donovan Mitchell because it might be hard, Andy Ellisberg is sitting there going, screw hard. Get me my abacus. I'll sit here. I'll move some of the beads here and there, and I'll get a deal done. Of course, teams like Oklahoma City are going, well, if you want us to free up another draft pick, you're going to have to give us an asset or something else. Why shouldn't they say that, Sam Presti? That's all he does. Right. He doesn't build a winner. He just collects stuff. So you have something like that. Or I mentioned this with Kurt Heelan when we did our Red Recover Inside the Paint show this week. The deal with the Jazz, where they want like 5 first-round picks, the Heat can generate that if they send Tyler Hero out for 2 first-round picks elsewhere. Now, you get a weak-ass organization that simply can't bring in a player in free agency. They might go, you know what? We're just the Sacramento Kings. We'll give you 2 good first-round picks. We want this boy wonder. We can get him out here. We can market him. We need something. We just traded Halliburton. So what I'm saying is those other teams might be saying right now they're not interested. But you know what? Andy Ellisberg will craft something. Think about this. He got the Portland Trailblazers to take Hassan Whiteside. So I think, as our good friend Kevin Garnett might say, anything is possible.
Crazy stuff, man. All right. What's your gut tell you? Like, do you think the Heat, what's the percentages of the big prize, which is Durant/Mitchell, and what's the percentages of all the other guys, whether,
I would say this. I think Durant is still possible because, let's face it, Sean Marks got so uncomfortable at the start of this. You remember all this, the eve of free agency, and Woj and Shams are reporting, oh my God, Durant asked his way out. At no point since, in the 6 weeks since then, have we heard Kevin Durant say, hey, I never said that. I'm fine. I'm going in. He is flatlined. We have heard nothing. Matter of fact, if anyone sees Kevin Durant, please give me or Big O a holler just so we'll know he's safe. We've seen or heard nothing from him. Donovan Mitchell is a little different. Danny Ainge has a plan. He has a plan. You have to bring me more draft choices than I got from Rudy Gobert because I'm going to load up on that. The Heat can't do that right now. I think that's a little bit more distant. The Durant thing's going to hang out there, and it's going to get very uncomfortable. And Big O, you've had plenty of writers on from New York. You know how the New York tabloid media is. The last thing they want is on September 26th to have a media day with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And you know what? Andy Ellisberg knows that. And Pat Riley knows that, and Adam Simon and Nick Harrison. So you wait till you get it closer. We've seen several of these deals where the last thing you want is for a guy to show to camp. We've also seen the NBA does something unlike a lot of other sports. They let a guy not report. Even in the NFL, remember that some guys this past week, they reported, but they wouldn't practice until they got their deals reworked, but they showed up. The NBA sort of tells guys you can stay away. The NBA has told guys for an entire season, John Wall spent more time in Miami last season than he did in Houston. You can stay away. If we make a deal, fine. If not, not. So I think we're going to sort of get to loggerheads at some point with this. And it's funny because when I wrote my Sunday notes for the Sun Sentinel, posted them today, I built it off the conversation you and I had in our Accurate Pembroke Pines reports this week about the fear of missing out, that there are other deals. The more I look at Miles Turner, the more I'm going, screw Kevin Durant, screw Donovan Mitchell, they're great. But man, that guy fits. He will block shots. He will give you inside intimidation. He will hit 3-pointers. That might work for me. I know you're a John Collins guy. You're saying Jimmy Butler needs.
No, but I love Miles Turner.
Right.
I love Miles Turner.
Or even John Collins. That guy.
I'd rather have any of those two guys over Jay Crowder and Harrison Barnes.
Right, and Jay Crowder is still liking my tweets about saying he's a good replacement for PJ Tucker. I think he did again today. Like, Jay, I'm doing what I can here, but I'm not Andy Ellisberg, so I find that kind of interesting. So what I'm saying is I just wonder if you cut bait at a certain point, and this is what's going to happen. Pat Riley and Andy Ellisberg will play the game just like everyone else, and they'll call Danny Ainge April 18th, and they'll call Sean Marks April 23rd, and they'll say, we have another deal on the table that we've been nice enough that Orlando Alzagari and Ira Winderman are putting out there, and we'll put the pressure on you. Do something now or we're moving on. Again, I use this term on our accurate Pembroke Pines reports all along. Maybe it's a game of liar's poker, but stuff is still happening. All these people out there, oh, the NBA is slow, nothing's still happening. No, I gave you, I think when we spoke on Thursday, like 5 different names, whether it's Harrison Barnes or Jay Crowder, or I threw in Gordon Hayward, because I think the last thing the Hornets want to do is run it back with him again after he's missed half a season each of the last 2 years. So there are names out there. These guys do have to get relocated. These things do have to get resolved. So I think there's a lot more. Matter of fact, aggregators, have fun with this. Big O Show, give them credit. Make sure people are listening. Accurate Pembroke Pines Report twice a week. This is on the Big O Show. Plenty is happening behind the scenes in the NBA right now. I guarantee it. Because when you have product like this, it's like one of those auctions where they're setting the closing date of August 20th or whatever. There is already bidding in progress, and that bidding will not stop. Not when the prizes are Kevin Durant and Donovan Mitchell, and maybe to a lesser extent, Miles Turner, John Collins, Harrison Barnes, Gordon Hayward, and even Jay Crowder.
Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. And, of course, subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel like I do and support them locally. Ira, as always, appreciate you, sir. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll catch you next week.
Saturday with Big O. Even the Jewish guy got to jump on. Thank you, Big O.
You got it.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right, there he is, Ira Winderman. Thank you for joining us as always. Love it. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. And don't forget, Welt and Rayom, proud sponsor of our program, the law firm that brings insurance companies to their knees. Yes, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, WRFLAlaw.com. Welt and Rayom, WRFLA, Florida, law.com. Go to the website or call them, 954-966-4646 for Welt and Rayom. All right. Dan B says, Big O, question for you. Curious, what is your take on MLB putting in a salary cap? Most all major sports have it. NFL, NHL, MLB is missing something. They probably won't, my brother. They should have a hard cap, but because of the imbalances when it comes to the money that they produce, it'll never happen. They'll stay with the luxury tax, so that way the Cubs, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and others have an advantage over the teams that cannot go to those extremes. So baseball should have had a hard cap a long time ago, but they know how to. They do everything to screw up their standing in sports here in this country. That's all. International soccer will be 100 times more interesting to Americans in 10 or 20 years than baseball will be. Their entire fan base is dying, and they don't even realize it. It's a shame. Did you watch, for those of you that were at practice today, and at the beginning, you saw Jordan Willis and Ben Still firing up the crowd and doing the worm and all that stuff. I turned to one of the guys next to me and said, I see that in Major League Baseball all the time. I swear to you, I said that today. And that's the way I make fun of Major League Baseball. They're just a bunch of idiots. That's what they are. They're just a bunch of idiots. It's a shame. It really is. So we went at Dolphins camp today. A couple things. Tua had a couple nice throws. It wasn't a good day for him overall. He's had, I would say the last 2 days. Ezukama made a nice play again. He is becoming more and more like a real find in the 4th round. So you added size with Ezukama. You added size with Cedric Wilson to go along with Gesicki. These are nice options to go opposite of what you've got Waddle and in Tyreek. I like it a lot. There was a moment when they were all throwing balls to the nets, and before they started, right, Teddy, class act that he is, started getting the crowd into chanting Tua, and all that stuff, right? And Tua, he's just there. He's not big on it. But then when they stopped, Tua then wanted people to start chanting for Teddy. And you can tell that's what Tua's more. Tua doesn't want any praise. He'd rather his teammates get praise. He'd rather his teammates get love. That he is a selfless human being, just like Teddy Bridgewater. Because there's a lot of you out there that are like anti-Tua people, and you think Teddy was coming in with this ulterior motive or being a vindictive person or no, man. Teddy comes in and he's here to help out, and he's going to be the backup quarterback. And if they need him, then he'll do his best and he'll try to play. But he is coming in to make the Dolphins better. And if that means making Tua better by helping him from the sidelines and maybe being an extra pair of eyes, he's more than happy with that. But, that's, to me, that moment was a really good moment for those people that think that there's, malicious intents, especially if you know who Teddy Bridgewater is. That's not who he has ever been. He's as classy as it gets. Incredibly intelligent dude. Great leadership. Now, is he a number 1 quarterback? Well, that's the one thing I've always said about him, that as much as I like him personally, he's not a starter in this league. He's a really bad starter in this league, unfortunately. But where he's at right now, it's perfect. He's perfect as a backup. But it was really cool moment to see Tua, also want to cheer him on also. And then Teddy wanted to get the crowd into chanting for Skyler too. So all the quarterbacks got a little love from the crowd. And by the way, those of you that went out to camp today, exceptional crowd, great enthusiasm, was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Christian Wilkins had the playlist today, did really good overall. I like this playlist. I really enjoyed it. What else did we have here? It was great meeting a lot of you fans out there. Trill Williams, I got to tell you, that young corner, he continues to impress and grow, and he probably has an inside track over Igbenogany right now. I have to say, he's got a slight inside track. Nice find by them. If that guy also, that you end up doing like what you did with Nick Needham and you found another guy in Trill Williams, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. If Noah can somehow figure things out and play pretty well this year, and if Trill can also develop, man, now all of a sudden you've got some serious depth at that position. That's the one thing that you're looking forward to. But Trill, you got to give Trill Williams a lot of love. You see what's going on with Preston Williams, who is, whining like a little bitch about playing time. And here's Trill Williams, quiet, fighting for his moment, waiting for his chance, and making plays. Props to Trill Williams, man. We talked about maturity with Sharif O'Neal and how he handled criticism. Preston Williams can learn a lot from Sharif, and Preston Williams can learn a lot from Trill Williams. That's how you're supposed to do it, kid. Be more mature. Go out there and let your play speak for yourself, and be like Trill Williams. When you get an opportunity, shine. Force them to give you another opportunity and another opportunity. Make it impossible for them to cut you. Make yourself valuable. You don't make yourself valuable by not making plays and complaining and whining. Worst part about Preston Williams, he still doesn't realize how much he has screwed up himself. Teddy Bridgewater will make an excellent offensive coordinator one day. Maybe a head coach. You never know. Maybe a quarterback's coach. You never know. Here's another question. Tua's mishaps lately. It's weird that it all started after the crap with Ross. Do you think? No. No, it's actually the defense that they've kind of turned it on, and they're blitzing more, and they're mixing things up, so it's become a little harder for the offense. So yes. Tua really missed about 2 throws today. The pass that was high to Waddle and the interception. Other than that, it was a solid day. Yeah, it wasn't a great day for him, but it wasn't anything. Again, he's not playing any horrible. That has not been the case at all. There's no horrible football or anything going on. The snapping continues to be an issue. I think I've told you guys already. And that is a problem right now. That has to be a concern. No panic yet, because it's still kind of early. But I think by next week, if he doesn't clean it up by next week in Tampa, I think you have to go center hunting. I think that was about most of the stuff that I saw in camp that we can talk about. By the way, did you see this story? Nice job by Dougie Fresh. Those of you that are on Twitter, okay, Dougie Fresh tweets out, and you guys can then follow up and do your thing. You can do it right here on the chat board. All right, here I am, and here is, of course, Poop Art. And, of course, Dougie Fresh, the smart ass that he is. He says, okay, Big O Show fans, name this buddy cop movie. Wrong answers only. Okay? I put Hawaii Stanko instead of 5-0. Stanko. That's up to you guys now. You're going to have fun with it now. Okay? What bad cop movie is this? Right there. Two guys and a gun. Old and older. Damn. Somebody put 55 plus Jump Street, I think, on Twitter. I don't know what else they've put on there. Strasky and Poop. Oh, man. That is awesome. Since we are dealing with some snapping issues, do you think we go after Treader? I've already answered this. James, don't call me Steve Bartkowski. Yeah, no, the 55 plus Jump Street was pretty good. You're right. It was good. It's pretty good. I gotta give you issues with that one. I already said it with Treader. I don't even know if Treader fits what they do here, because the center needs to pull, needs to go second level. He's not necessarily the most athletic guy, so I don't know how it changes. Non-lethal weapon? Nah, that doesn't go. The other guys, another 72 hours. Bad Boys 4. Okay. Tango and Strapped for Cash. Kane says, Big O, is it me or this South Florida heat is getting worse yearly? Bro, it's called climate change. It's called global warming. The world is actually warming up. Yes. It's not some, there are glaciers the size of Florida that are peeling off the Antarctic. Okay? Hell, they're keeping track of something called the Doomsday Glacier, which will like raise sea levels like 2 feet or something. So yeah, man. If it's warmer in Greenland, where the ice is disappearing, Yeah, dude, of course it's going to be warmer here. Yeah. It's not good, man. The world we're leaving our kids, it's disgraceful. I know we didn't know better early on, but we've known better for a few years now, and we still don't do enough. And this goes all the way. And listen, not at least we're trying. I mean, countries like China, you know, they're just going to pollute the shit out of our world too. They're not going to do anything better. There are certain countries that are just also kind of pathetic and not helping, but doesn't say that the rest of us should not do our part. But man, yeah, dude, yeah. We've got islands of plastic floating in the Pacific. And when I tell you islands of plastic, I am not lying. There are islands of plastic in the Pacific. It's bad, man. It's bad. How many games into the season before the fan base starts to overreact? I'm not sure, Shaq Fins. Why are you worried about bad shit? Why do you look forward to that? I don't understand that. The season hasn't started. Why do you want to predict bad shit already? I don't understand. I never understand that fan. Like the team looks good. The coaching staff looks exceptional. The schemes look good overall. It's a good draft. It was a good free agent class. Players are getting along. There's a good vibe. Why can't people just enjoy themselves and enjoy the moment? All of us that were at Dolphin camp today, we had a great time, man. We enjoyed watching practice. We enjoyed watching the players out there. Nobody got injured, which is a beautiful thing. Tua looks good. The team looks good. The offensive line is slightly getting better. I don't get it. I don't get the fans. And this guy's called Shaq Fins. So I don't know why you want to play the negative game at this moment. We're in training camp, dude. Everything looks good. I get it in years past when things were a disaster and you had Bullygate going on or you had something else going on and or it was a terrible draft or the you're looking at Cleo Lemon or Pat White or something. I get when there's negativity that way. But right now, why is there any negativity? You watch Waddle and Tyreek run around? Tua looks healthy. Jalen Phillips looks like he's going to have a monster year. I don't understand any of this. Look, I'm the first guy. If it's bad, I'll tell you it's bad, dude. I have no problem telling you it's bad, but there's nothing bad going on right now. The Stephen Ross crap, that's for the future, man. That has nothing to do with this season. That has nothing to do with the players on the field right now. That has nothing to do with this coaching staff. That has nothing to do with anything. Next year, we'll bitch and complain about it when the draft rolls around, and we'll say, this asshole cost us a first rounder. Then we can do that when it rolls around. And then 2 years from now, we can say, this asshole cost us a third rounder. But for right now, I don't get it. I don't understand that. Azukama looks good. Christian Wilkins looks good. X is flowing. I don't understand any of this. How can a Doll fan not feel good about what's going on right now? How and why would you focus on anything negative now? Don't get it. Let's see. What else do we have? Big O, I feel like a hot dog baking. LOL. All I need is a bun. I got you. Has Cedric Wilson had a good camp? He's been all right. They haven't used them as much as I would like, but they've used them. There's a part of me that I'm wondering if they're saving some of this stuff. Big O, you need to put that pick as the sponsor during your segments with Poop. Let's see. Big O, which season are you more excited for, the Canes or the Fins? Fins. Fins can get to the playoffs. I can't expect the Canes to get to the, NCAA playoffs. Maybe the conference finals, obviously that they should do that. But it's hard. It's Mario's first year, and I know it's Mike's first year, but Mike has pretty much a good base, man. This is a team that's won 9 and 10 games the last 2 years, and he's done a better job on the offensive side, which is their main problem, even with 9 and 10 wins. So I'm going to go Dolphins. But I'm super excited for both, because I think Mario gets to establish what he wants to do this year, and I think that's really, really important. The moment someone plays Greta Van Fleet on their playlist, I will call that player the music guru for the Dolphins. There's no shot anybody on that team plays Greta. There's a lot of beaten down Finn fans, including myself. We haven't seen a great team in decades. Yeah, I get it, but there's no need to be negative until something looks bad, and it just doesn't look bad. You know what I mean? Right now is not the time. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Let's see. Here we go. Boy, those bots, they're not Bitcoin bots today. They're porn bots today. Did I talk about? Because yesterday I started with crypto, the show, and Sean says, because somebody came in with a crypto question or something, a comment, and so I started talking about like Theta, and then we ended up having these Bitcoin bots come in. And I guess I must have said something sexual or porn or whatever, and then the sex bots have come in. Big O, some of the all-time one-liners in movies like Banana in the Tailpipe, I'll be back, you're the disease, and I'm the cure, etc. Okay, what's that? You want us to start coming up with movie lines? Big O show getting bombarded with the adult ads because Fins fans are in a frenzy. They're hot. Fins fans are hot. They're really hot. I agree with you, Big O. The Dolphins are one step ahead, whereas Mario is building his team from the bottom up. Yep, exactly. Next orange jersey needs to play Pantera in practice. Tomorrow, I'm going with Trill Williams as your guy that gets the playlist. Okay? I'm going Trill Williams. That's what I'm going to do. Did you guys see this rugby player that almost died? Did you hear about this story? This is a crazy ass story. So a rugby player walks in and catches his wife giving pleasure to his best friend and teammate. Ex-NRL star assaulted his fiancée after he caught her cheating. Michael Licha denied assaulting his now ex-partner Cara Childhouse. A court heard how he caught her cheating with ex-teammate Adam Elliott. Licha caught his former partner allegedly cheating on him with his close friend and ex-teammate Adam Elliott. Apparently, he caught the two and he lashed out in anger, nearly dying from the blood loss. Okay? He lost nearly 2.5 liters of blood when he slashed himself while punching a window after catching his fiancée performing a sex act on his teammate. No job. The court heard it, and Licha, who played for Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, was acquitted on Friday of domestic violence charges after his former fiancée, Cara Childhouse, declined to testify against him. Licha, 29, also detailed how ugly the incident forced him to change his life for the better. After waking up to find Childhouse in his backyard performing a sexual act on his former Bulldog teammate, Adam Elliott, he flew into a rage, the court was told, in a state of shock and still affected by alcohol after drinking all afternoon and into the early morning at his home. A torrent expletives rained from his mouth in disbelief. He stormed inside, followed by Elliot, where he punched the glass window on his front door, cutting his arm badly as he pulled it from the frame. I couldn't get the image out of my fiance performing oral sex on my best friend out of my mind, he said in court. I'm glad the truth finally came out. I was very confident in the truth the whole time. And I just want to put it all behind me now and move on with my life. And happy days are ahead. Friday, he also thanked his legal team, family, and his new fiance. He already had a new fiance and everything. That's got to be the worst, right? You wake up, your fiance, there she is. She's just blowing your best friend. Yeah, that's not good. That is rage. I mean, who's not going to lose it there, bro? Who's not going to lose it there? How do you handle that situation? And I got to say, he did a great job punching glass, and he didn't go after them, which most people, they would have gone after one of the two, right? Tell you. She really stuck a foot. Oh, not a foot, something else in her mouth. I'm sorry. Anyway, for those of you that are a little disappointed because something happened now that you guys should know about. And this is, I got to tell you, it's a little depressing that this actually happened. Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson have broken up. I mean, this was a love affair that, of course, you all thought it was going to last forever, right? Because, Pete Davidson constantly has long relationships. And, Kim Kardashian, she's known to have, she stays with somebody for a long time. Yep. So apparently these two have broken up now. I got to say, Pete bangs more broads than anybody. Kate Beckinsale. Well, who was the other one that he was going out with? That's Ariana Grande. That's think about that. Ariana Grande, Kate Beckinsale, and Kim Kardashian. 3 completely different women. Pete Davidson. He's got to have a baby's arm, right? I mean, there's no way that there's this much traffic going on if there isn't some kind of really let me see type of thing behind it. You just kind of get that feeling. Oh no, he's so nice. It's no, they just don't say, well, no, it's 12 inches. Of course, yeah, I'm gonna go out with him for a while. Don't tell me he looks like a GQ model. I'm just saying, but way to go, Pete Davidson. Jesus Christ. That man works the schlong. He knows how to do it right there. I got to give him credit. And you need it for Kim Kardashian because to go to bed with that's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. So, it's one of those deals. Pete Davidson looks like Christian Yelich. Pete Davidson looks like Christian Yelich and Benicio del Toro had a kid. Okay? If those two had sex, what would come out is Pete Davidson. That's basically it. Some guys just know how to play the game. He knows how to play it, bro. And he also dated Cindy Crawford's daughter. There you go. I saw her once. I don't know what her name is, but I saw that picture. Might have been in the last year where it was Cindy and her. And yeah, she's a good looking girl. Cindy still looks fantastic, by the way. Gotta give her credit. Yeah, Pete Davidson, man, he is Funny dudes get chicks. Yeah, Darp, you keep believing the funny dude thing. You keep believing it. Trust me. Hot dog down a hallway got me dead. Well, I'm just trying to be accurate here. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you park that many cars in the garage, it kind of loosens up. What can I tell you? You know, you can keep stretching the tunnel. Let's see, what else do we have here that I saw in the world of sports. Oh, Seattle. I saw this story, and first of all, I want you all to pull over. Do not drive while I'm reading this story, okay? But Seattle, they asked him about the quarterback competition. And Pete Carroll said that right now, Geno Smith is just doing all the right things. So he leads the quarterback competition. Now, remember, Drew Lock is his competition, which is really not competition. Because Drew Lock, we've talked about this. I love Drew Lock's talent, but his maturity that's probably why hasn't ever crossed over that threshold and never will. He has all the talent in the world, but hasn't been able to get it done. And Geno Smith. Now, Seattle right now is doing what the Dolphins were trying to do a couple of years ago. Difference is Pete Carroll's in place. He's his team's taken several steps back from the days of the Legion of Boom. He needs to get back there. Basically, starting Geno Smith is like tanking. Come on. We're going to trade for Drew Lock, and we're going to start Geno Smith. You don't intend on winning a lot of games. Winning is not on the agenda in the great Northwest. I just want you to know. Okay? Don't go hiring Flo, Seattle. Because if you want Flo to take part in this and playing Geno Smith every day, he's not going to. Now, Pete Carroll will, because he's desperate to get back to where he was years ago. But the decisions in the front office, well, they haven't been as good lately. They got on their. This happens a lot, and we label somebody great for the longevity, but when you really look at it, it isn't. It's for the window. And if you look at it, Pete Carroll and Seattle, it's been a window. And now the window's done, and then they're trying to get back. And now they've traded their franchise quarterback, and who knows if they ever find their way. But the way that team was loaded years ago and should have won a couple of titles, definitely should have won at least 2. Yeah, it's a window, not really a career overall. That's the part that's kind of interesting. You hire Flores you just started the zombie apocalypse for your team. There you go. Pete went to the school Dennis Rodman's pleasure camp. Okay. I despise Pete Carroll ever since he put up that choke sign against the Dolphins. Yeah. He was the Patriots coach, if I remember correctly, right? I remember that. All right, it is time to wrap it up here on the show. We thank Cameron Wolf. We thank Ira Winderman. We thank all of you out there that tuned in. Those of you that sent in the Cash App or Venmo or Super Chat, thank you all out there immensely. I appreciate it. Oh, and Michael Cracchiola, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. He sent in also a little Venmo. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. I'm sorry. He sent in a little Venmo. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you. I didn't see that till this second here. So thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. As always. And remember, if you want to make a donation, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show, you can always make a donation at Cash Big O Show. All right. I appreciate all of you out there. Stay positive. Enjoy your weekend. We will see you on Monday. Same time, same place, same bat channel. I love you all. Be great out there.
This is the